They say money can buy you anything, but can it buy you happiness? How much money do you need to be happy? If you're like most people, your answer will probably be more than you have right now. But if you keep wanting more and more money, then you may never be happy. In this episode of the Stoic Philosophy Podcast, we're going to look at why riches won't make you happy. Let's start the timer. We'll discuss 4 lessons from Seneca, one of the richest men in ancient Rome, who was also a philosopher. And he knew both wealth and poverty. So he wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What did he mean by that? He meant that the less things you want, the wealthier you are. And when you think about it, it makes sense because what's wealth for if you can't enjoy it? What's the point of having millions of dollars if you need billions to be happy? When you realize that you can only be happy once you have enough, you'll always be unhappy. There's always something more that you desire. So you need to be careful with how you think about wealth. Wealth is just a tool. It should help you live the life that you want. But if you use it as a measure of success or happiness, then it can lead to unhappiness. Your attachment to external things like wealth leads to suffering. Seneca writes, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." He says this because our minds can imagine all sorts of things happening in the future, like losing everything that we have, and that can cause us a lot of stress and anxiety. But really, those things haven't happened yet. They're just possible. And so we need to focus on the present moment rather than worrying about the future. But coming back to the topic of wealth, how much do you need to be happy? Well, according to a study done by psychologists at the University of California, Riverside, and the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, you need about $70,000 a year to be happy. Of course, everyone's different, and everyone has their own financial needs. But according to this study, most people need around $70,000 a year to be happy. Now, if you're making less than $70,000 a year, don't despair. You can still be happy. It just takes some work. But if you're making more than $70,000 a year, you should consider yourself very lucky because you can do whatever you want. You have the means to take care of yourself and your loved ones. And that's all that really matters. So enjoy your life and be grateful for what you have. Lesson 2. The secret to wealth. Most people think that wealth is just about having lots of money. But Seneca knew that there was more to it than that. For him, wealth was about having the freedom to live life on your own terms. To be truly wealthy, you need to have control over your time and your life. This means being free from the constraints of other people's expectations and being able to pursue the things that are important to you. It also means having the financial resources to support the kind of lifestyle that you want to live. This doesn't necessarily mean having a huge amount of money, but it does mean having enough money to cover your expenses and provide for your loved ones. Ultimately, wealth is a state of mind. It's about being content with what you have and feeling like you can live the life that you want to live. Lesson 3. Don't compare yourself to others. One of the best ways to ensure that you never become rich is to constantly compare yourself to others. Comparing ourselves to others is a big part of the problem. We see someone else with more money than we have, and we think that we need to have that much money too. Or we see someone living a lifestyle that we think is better than ours, and we start to feel like our life is lacking. But comparing ourselves to others is a never-ending cycle. There will always be someone who has more than we do. Someone who is more successful, more attractive, or more talented. And if we spend our lives focused on what we don't have, we'll never be happy. The solution is to focus on our own goals and aspirations. What do we want out of life? What kind of person do we want to be? When we focus on what we want to achieve rather than on what other people have, we're more likely to be successful. And lesson number 4, focus on what you have, not what you lack. One of the best ways to ensure that you never become rich is to focus on what you do and have rather than on what you do have. When we focus on our deficiencies, real or imagined, we create a sense of lack that makes it impossible for us to be grateful for what we have. And gratitude is essential to happiness. If we can't be grateful for what we have, we will always want more and more, and that will lead us to unhappiness. Instead, we need to focus on our blessings, no matter how small they may seem. Every day, take a moment to appreciate the good things in your life. Be thankful for your health, your friends and family, your job, your home. When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, you'll start to see that you have much more than you lack. This is a powerful mindset shift that can lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. I hope these lessons from Seneca were helpful. Remember that wealth is more than just having a lot of money. It's about having the freedom to live the life you want. It's not about comparing yourself to others or focusing on what you lack, but appreciating what you have. By following these tips, you can become truly wealthy, not just in terms of money, but in terms of happiness and fulfillment. Thank you for listening to the Stoic Philosophy Podcast. If you like this episode, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Also, be sure to check out our new channel where we're publishing videos on ancient philosophy. You can watch full episodes of the Ancient Philosophy Podcast and more. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.